to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, first thing we have is the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or corrections?
There is none. I will make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, next is approval of minutes of January 19th, 2026. We'll do these individually.
That was the easy one. I'll make a motion to approve.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Next is the minutes for January 20th, 2026.
Courtney, I think you did a phenomenal job keeping track of all the motions, and I think they're 100% spot on.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I can second that.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. I will add one thing here before I forget. In regard to minutes, you see that one of the legislature's things they want is approved minutes at the end of the meeting. So you're gonna have to wait till, you're gonna have to type minutes up. I don't know how that's gonna work. Just thought I'd let you know that I've seen that.
Toes and keep changing.
Yeah.
Thank
You know, I was at a court case 2 weeks ago, and the court reporter told the judge and witness, slow down. I've never heard her say that yet.
Well, I have to type them.
I
hear that.
It would have been closed when we were
Yeah,
looking
like,
at promotion.
yeah, I mean,
Thank you for the
a
step.
lot of questions last week, but it's because I can hear these guys, but I can't hear you. So.
Gotcha.
Okay, next is Iowa Community Insurance Pool 2026 renewal. Josh?
Did you guys get the summary that I sent out?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And list all the claims and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
That goes back quite a few years, those claims.
Yes, it does. Yep. I think they're 5-year.
Well, I mean, does that go affect 3 years back or how is that? Or does it go back 5 years?
That it affects like the losses.
Yeah.
Generally 3 years, but we like to just
Okay,
get a whole picture of it. And Danielle from our office sends Scott a monthly breakdown of all like the open claims and then like just basically what you got today, but just on a monthly basis. So if you guys ever want that or have any questions or anything on specific, not that we'll get in that here, but you can always call our office, or like I said, if you want to get on that mailing list, feel free to let us know. Okay, and a little bit of this might be redundant, but the county's insured with the Iowa Community Assurance Pool for their property and liability coverage. And ICAP isn't like a traditional insurance company. They're a pooling agreement. So Carroll County is a like a member owner of this insurance pool. And it came about in like the mid to late 80s, where the standard insurance market couldn't or wouldn't handle the bulk of the municipality business. They were in, similar to we were in a couple years ago, what we call an insurance hard market, where there's increased storm activity, increased in like very high inflation, increase in claims. And so all of the standard insurance companies kind of pulled out of the market, and ICAP, which like I said, is just a pooling agreement among all exclusively to municipalities in Iowa. But that's kind of where that came about. So we kind of do a
I do remember that when that happened.
it was before my time, but that's what they tell me anyways.
Shame on you.
You couldn't get insurance.
If I
to
would
get
have
through.
said that, I'd be in trouble.
Well, I'm just gonna have to admit it, that's how long I've been around.
But we kind of like to do a state of the county market in Iowa. So currently there's, including Carroll, there's 82 counties that are in pooling arrangements with a combination of ICAP and IMWCA, which handles the work comp. So that's where the bulk of the county insurance business is in Iowa. There's 10 counties that are in the Heartland pool, which came about the same time as ICAP. They've kind of had the same 10 counties in there. They haven't add or subtracted any in that time. there are three larger counties like your Polk and your Johnsons, which are basically just self-insured counties. And then there's four that are exclusively in the standard market. So the only current standard insurance company that's in the county market right now is Employers Mutual, or EMC. So that picks up the remaining four. So every year we kind of look to EMC to see if there's any options that, not say there will be, but to do our due diligence to check if there's a better product out there, I guess, in the standard market for Carroll County. And when I discussed with them, they've had huge rate increases to similar to like ICAP's had the last couple of years, but they didn't think that they could compete on price or the program that we're currently with ICAP. Also, because ICAP's not a standard insurance company, they've got some kind of quirks to them. So even if we were to leave for another standard carrier, any open claims like you got, on the date that you exit the pool, any open claims, like payments would cease on those. So it's kind of difficult to leave the pool in a sense. But long story short, the ICAP is still the best market for Carroll County for their property and liability coverages. So
Speaking real quick, on the open claims we have,
yep,
what does it take to ever settle those? Some of those are several years.
I know it. And we really, some of those like liability ones, we don't really get in there. It's all
Legal hand.
right. It's running through the courts. So yeah, we don't really, and even like the ICAP adjusters don't really get updates on what's going on there. So we're kind of just at their mercy on how soon those get settled or how they work. It takes forever though. I don't know what takes so long, but yeah, the court cases don't typically seem to go very fast. So but anyway, we'll jump into this is what Mid Iowa puts together, the renewal summary. So it's just kind of a condensed version of the ICAP policy. So starting on page 3 of the summary, this is all the locations that Carroll County has either property or liability for. So page 3 and 4 is all of the insured locations that we have for Carroll County. Then after that, we've got the what we call the statement of values, or basically all the property coverages that we have at each location. So we've got building contents, any autos, any equipment that's at every location that we have insured. So that's the next few pages there.
Gene, one question on the bottom of 9. We have the Maple River and the Mount Carmel sewer system, and we own them, even though we're fiscal agent of that. We actually own them facilities,
We insure them
insure them.
Yeah.
So that,
because we're holding loan.
so is that money something we need to look into someday as,
Oh, you mean as far as getting reimbursed for that?
yeah,
Maybe when the loan's paid.
It's kind of part of doing business as a county.
Yeah. Oh.
I would say, yeah, but I
Good
think,
question.
but the thing that we're insuring out there is basically the equipment in those places.
yeah.
Kinda
I didn't know if that,
more-
like that shed, if the county owned it, or if the city of, or township of Maple River owns that,
Well, I think that property is listed in our name now, isn't it?
Then it,
What? Because,
then it wouldn't matter. I'm just curious when
Yeah,
I.
I believe it is listed under
Yeah,
Carroll County.
the reason it-
But
so it's just the property and basically those equipment. There's
Equipment in there,
no
yeah.
buildings out there.
Yeah,
I think we insured it because we're the ones that have,
We're-
we owe the
Oh,
money,
yeah.
or, yeah, so.
okay. I'm just curious when I look through.
Yep. Yeah, and any questions, feel free to stop me and jump in here. Some of these we got highlighted in red just because we got a kind of a decision to make at the end on insuring some of the scheduled property that we have on there. Then starting on page 11, we got a breakdown of all the equipment that we have insured and kind of the valuations that we've got on it. That's the next few pages. Then we've got on 15, we've got the liability coverages. So we've got $5 million of liability coverages, which is kind of, I would say it's above average on just speaking on counties in general. I would say it's right in line with other counties our size for 5 million. We can always, like I said, we can always look at increasing that if we want to. I think we increased it to 5 million probably 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say. But if we ever want to look at doing that again, just like I
I
said,
was
feel
thinking
free.
it was last year.
What's that?
I was thinking it was last year. Maybe I might be wrong.
I think it was 2 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
I think, yeah,
Could be.
I don't think it was last year, but like I said, I think it was 2 years ago.
Josh, is this something when you go through, like page 11, all that equipment, do you talk to Zach on this?
Yes,
Yeah,
yep,
but-
yep. So we get, all the different department heads should be looking at it, and or like Ken for the,
Yep.
yep.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yes, yep. And yeah, for valuation, sometimes it's hard, and like, so we'll kind of get to that at the end, but valuations on some of that equipment's kind of difficult to do, but ICAP this last year hired this HCA asset management, so they kind of went through all the buildings and all the equipment and everything and reevaluated everything to make sure that all the members are insured to value. Yeah, with COVID, it kind of, with inflation kind of getting out of control, all the buildings, and this is in insurance in any industry, it's valuations for everything are just low. Just because inflation's kind of outpaced, what we've had everything insured for. So, but yeah, like I said, we'll kind of take a look at that at the end, but then on page 17, this is a schedule of all the autos that we have. And we kind of go through and look at this. So all of them are scheduled for liability, and then on the right, you can see which ones are the comp and collision, which ones have full coverage on all of them. We kind of operate on we should start looking at removing full coverage at like the 10-year mark on.
We went through 30 vehicles last year, didn't each department head, and we knocked some
I
off.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yep, so we're always kind of paying attention to that. And then if you're on page 20, it's towards the bottom there, it starts like where we got all the motor graders. Those are, even though it says no coverage on the comp and collision, this is just the auto page, so we scheduled those on the auto for liability since they're going down the road. But for the full coverage part, they're scheduled under the equipment because they're not technically vehicles. They're like mobile equipment is what they're called. So those are scheduled on the equipment portion of it. But then we get to the premium summary, page 22 at the very end. This is kind of where all the premiums and the total, what we had last year versus what we're going to this year. Like I said, that ICAP this year, they had this HCA asset management come in and reevaluate all of our buildings, all of our property, all of our heavy equipment. So that's where we get the blanket buildings and contents going from the 44 million to the 49 million. Most years it would not. There is like a small inflation guard, which is usually like a 2 to 3% every year. The buildings and equipment will go up about that much, but when they came out and appraised it, basically there was about a $5 million addition to, basically they added on to about every building was to get it up to what they would consider the insurable value. So, and we don't really have a ton of say in that. That's kind of like the ICAP. They're doing that with every county. So, but on the, if we go to the, did you guys get this property valuation synopsis from ICAP? So we've got these, basically these are the scheduled equipment, mostly all motor graders that they were looking at, that they have the 2025 value, and then they've got the number next to that, what they think it should be valued at. So that's what their recommendation is to go up to this higher valuation. They are offering this year if we want to, basically it's kind of up to you guys, and it's not an easy decision, but basically they'll let us keep them at the value that it was before for just this equipment that they have scheduled here. But we would have to drop it down from replacement cost on these vehicles to actual cash value, which would be taken into consideration depreciation if there were a claim on there. So basically the only thing is that, and some of them are, the newer ones are going to be pretty close, because that's what we buy something new, we put it on for what it costs new. So some of them are pretty close, like the 2024s are basically the same on there. But there is about a $27,000 difference between scheduling this section of equipment for replacement cost at their valuations versus keeping it at the values that we had before and going actual cash value. The only thing is that if there's like a total loss on a motor grader or something like that, especially like an older one, it wouldn't fully pay to replace it with a brand new one like it has in the past. Does that kind of make sense?
Zach, you think it's worth $27,400 to?
No, we talked about this, like 3 months ago, and I think I put in there, go to actual cash value on those, because I guess my thing is, if we get into that situation where something does happen, well, I'll find a way to get it to my budget to either replace it with a used one or finding my budget to the incremental difference if something did happen, but that's my opinion.
So actual cash value and the other line is for,
What's that?
what's the last line for? There's actual cash value and what's the last one?
Oh, replacement cost.
Replacement cost.
Yep. So replacement cost is how we've always had it, and it's, a 2010
Yep.
motor grader gets a total loss. They're paying for a new 2025 one. Whereas actual cash value is similar to like any of your like personal autos.
Yep.
All auto insurance is based off the actual cash value. If you have a 2010 car, it gets totaled, they're going to pay you for a 2010 car.
Yep.
So, so that, it's like, again, I don't have a crystal ball to say if it's going to be, going to be a good deal to do this, but $27,400 was the total. And that's a pretty good chunk of change and like I said, it's good. So then it's kind of valued at like what most people's auto insurance are, which, people are generally pretty comfortable with. You don't expect a brand new vehicle if you totaled a 20-year-old vehicle. So, totally up to you guys. I don't know if you have any questions on that or concerns or what you're thinking. Like I said, it's a pretty good cost savings for what it's worth on the motor grader. What's that? Right. To go to actual cash value is a pretty good cost savings. So I think it's something to seriously consider looking into.
The last couple of times we had something told and got a cash payout from you. I think it was pretty generous.
Yeah, yes, yep. And like I said, that's
So that'd be a good way to say it that.
And you're in favor of that doing cash value? Yeah,
That's tough because 27 grand's a lot, but on one,
one claim, you're gonna more than make up
You're gonna
that.
make
So
that up.
it would have to be, 4 or 5 years with no total losses on a motor grader, but.
What's our history on that, Zach? I mean, is yours?
I don't know if we've had any motor graders here since I've been here.
I think probably the only,
I had one. I mean, it can happen.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
it's not.
See, we've never had it. We switched the motor graders over from a separate policy that was with another carrier to ICAP like 3 years ago, I think. So I don't have the whole, if the county's ever had a loss on one of those, but in the 3 years or
I
whatever.
think the only loss that I can think of is probably through a fire
Okay.
when the building out there. I think there was one that was totally destroyed, but there was issues there. But
Yeah. But like I said, you go 3-4 years, without a loss and you're money ahead in that, but could happen next year, there's no crystal ball. That's kind of why it's not an easy decision on that, but.
The other thing is with the older motor graders, they are on the road less than the newer ones. So they're out on the road less. So that does maybe make a little bit less.
Yeah. And the newer ones, they're really close in value they don't depreciate that fast. So if you got one that's within 5 years old, it's gonna be close. So. That's the one thing that we gotta make a decision on. The rest of it, as far as the values are up on the property, but as far as property rates go, property rates are even with last year. Then the liability lines are up about 3%, which better than it's been in years past, but most of that's due to increased litigation and the time and cost associated with those claims. Auto physical damage coverage, so the property coverage on autos is down about 4,000. So total we're yeah, up about 4%. If, you know, with all the increases in the property values. Or like I said, we put the two different on the bottom of the summary page there, we put the two different numbers based on what we do on the actual cash value versus the replacement cost on that equipment. So
So one's a raise of 4%, the other one's a decrease of 1%, 1 point.
Yep, exactly. So overall, better than we've seen in recent renewals for insurance, so. And like I said, if you guys ever have any questions or anything, especially if it's like regarding claims, because we don't want to discuss a lot
And this is in ICAP, through ICAP, right?
yes,
Yep, I
yep,
thought,
yep,
yep.
yep.
The one of them's a minus 1.397, the other one's a plus 4.07.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be
And
opposed. to
Zach, you
going-
want to go with the plus 0.047?
I think the actual cash value makes sense. That's,
You become a little bit of your own self-insured, so. And I think it's something that,
and
especially on those motor graders, are not all sitting on the same spot very often.
Mhm.
I did review all the actual cash values that they had and went through to look at that as well.
Josh, when's the premium due on this? Is this?
February 1st, but well, I mean, we can, if we send in we can send in the, like, basically the commitment to continue membership, they call it. And then we can, just let them know that we're still deciding on this and we can push it back a few weeks if we need to. So if we don't want to, make a motion on that today, you guys can think about it and.
Was there any reason, any other discussion? Is there, do you want to think about it or?
No. I just-
Okay.
I'd make a motion to,
If Zach's well informed on it.
I'd make a motion to continue our insurance with the 2026 actual cash value of $493,522.
I would
Okay.
second that.
It's been moved and seconded.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Is there anything else that you see that I think one of the things that bothers me more than anything is this cyber stuff. Is that about what everybody's at?
It is, yeah, and we did discuss that last year.
Yeah.
And we
And I
increased,
always, yeah.
yeah, we increased it last year because that was one of the big pushes for ICAP was the cyber and cyber
All right.
security and all that. So
Any
yeah, we
other-
did do that last year. So.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried.
All right. Any other
$7,000
questions, guys?
statements.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good day, Josh.
Okay, next is Zach, secondary road.
Morning.
Morning, Zach.
Good morning.
Have an equipment quote for our concrete breaker. The current one we have is broken and we either need to get it repaired or what I was looking into is replacing it. They do take a beating for obvious reasons. We did a lot of concrete patching over the last 3 years or so. And it wasn't something I had originally scheduled for the current budget, but I do have room in our equipment budget for that. Did reach out to 3 local vendors to get quotes. The one that comparing price and longevity, warranty and all those things was the Blue Diamond one from Reuters is the one I'd like to proceed with. Had better warranty and a little more repairable by our own staff rather than having to send it out to get things recharged. It's got less moving parts than some of them. Which detail you want, but that's
So
the,
this is hooked onto the track loader.
our skid loader, yep.
And the one you have now, you said was 6 years old.
I believe so.
So this, either one of these will fit on that same,
Yep.
they're universal?
They make it so the attachment plate works and it's, they know what skid loader we're putting it on, so they have that in the cost.
There's a significant difference there. You think that it's worth that?
I do. We even got down to looking at the breakdown of the parts breakdown and how things come apart to get to like the accumulator. That's the big thing, that the bladder that does it. And from what we can tell, the access and the ability to repair that Blue Diamond one is significantly better than the next one, which would be that we had on the list was the one from Deere.
So the rooters, it's the Blue Diamond one, that's at 14.9,
It is,
and Van Wall's, the John Deere is at 12.9,
it is.
and the Bobcat is at 16.9, 12.80.
Yep. And they're not all exactly identical in size. They're close, but trying to compare apples to apples, the closest that we can.
You're similar on all of them.
Warranty's better on the one from Reuters. It's got 3-year parts. I think it's still 1 year on labor, but 3-year on parts. I believe the Van Wall one for sure is only 1 year. I think the Bobcat was 1 year as well. A lot of attachments are only 1 year.
They both, all three in stock. Not that you're gonna be using them during a snowstorm, but the lead times aren't incredible.
They're not incredible. They're doing something now. We'll have it before spring when we would need it.
Any other questions?
So I'm just looking at the cost difference there. That's a chunk of, not a chunk of change, but I mean, we're talking a couple of grand. I guess we'll take your word. You think it's well worth it?
I still think it's worth it with the potential repair costs. We've had ours recharged and repaired.
What brand, yeah?
It's a Stanley, I believe.
And
It did come from Reuters.
And you mentioned you were gonna probably sell that outright.
Probably, yeah. I think trying to
Or did you
trade.
get trade-in?
I didn't get trading quotes with it being broken. I didn't know if that was even fair.
Any other comments?
I have no expertise on
And
these.
3 years on parts, you said with the rooters, where the other one's only 1 year old.
I even tried to get an extended warranty with Deere and they don't offer it for an attachment.
And you think we'll be using that probably or not? I'm just from use.
I mean, we've repaired the one we've had, I'd say at least 3 times.
In-house.
Whether it's, recharging it, and we can't do it. And that's where this Blue Diamond one, it doesn't have the same accumulator system as what our current one does. And it looks like it's easier to be able to basically pop the top off, replace the accumulator, the bladder, that potentially would go bad, and you buy the part and you put it on, where we could do that ourselves rather than sending it out to. There's even nobody local here will touch these. They don't want to deal
They
with
don't
them.
do them. How old do you think the one is that we have?
6 years old.
You repaired every year for sure, usually.
I won't say every year, but I'd say at least 2 or 3 times in the last 6 years we had it.
A lot of times you get a lot of goodie out of it. The first couple of 3 years, you have a problem with the warranty's off is when you have a problem with it.
Yep.
So
To me, the warranty is only part of it. Really, the ability to work on it and service it ourselves, I think is gonna be much better with this one. And that's the big reason why I think it's worth it.
And sometimes that is worth it.
yes, it is. I would agree. I'm just
Yeah.
asking a few questions there.
The other reason is we only have one of these. So if you're working on a project and you're breaking concrete and then something happens with it, now you're stuck. And what do you do? If it's something we can fix ourselves, that's a big plus versus having to ship it off to Omaha or wherever you gotta go. Cause again, locally, we haven't found anybody that's wants to repair these.
I'll make
And
a
mind you,
motion.
these attachments that he's referring to, anything on an attachment on a skid loader, the projects that they're doing is extremely hard on those
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
breaking concrete, think about it, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's-
I get it.
I'll make a motion to go with the engineer's recommendation from Reuters on the DDA HE 400 breaker for 14,900.
There's been a motion. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it, I think. I trust
Okay.
your,
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion?
No, I do want to note that it's a lot. It's
Yeah.
hard to agree with this, but I do respect your decision and your research on it. So
Okay, anything else? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried.
Thank you. Urban update, really only have one thing. We are working on putting together a uh, put out quotes to get limestone contract hauled in this year again, like we have in the past. Looking for 8,000 ton. Again, it'd be very similar to what we've done in the past with half of it by, I believe, April 1st and the other half by like May. Just trying to get our stockpile replenished for spring. We do have some in our pile right now, but trying to get built back up again for,
How much is that?
it'd be whatever the rock is,
1290.
the rock.
That's what the regular gravel.
We asked them to get the price. When we get a price from them, it's the rock and being hauled in. So I don't know, and I haven't gotten the any new numbers from the quarries on what the price of rock has gone up. Usually in January, where it's price increase. I haven't gotten those yet. Sometimes these vendors that do the hauling get a deal, or they have a different rate that they can get. So that's why we put the hauling and the rock together and get a number back from them. And whatever they can get from the two approved quarries that we list.
how many
What-
ton are you gonna ask for?
8,000.
So
8,000 ton.
what percentage is limestone
Of
of what you have 800,000, I think we just approved in your budget for granular.
it was more than that.
Well,
For the current one, I believe was like 1.3 million.
Okay.
And
But
I
is-
think
is-
I think we spent like 875,000 this year so far. So. I
Zach,
mean,
can I interrupt you? You got more stuff to report on?
Nope,
Okay, well,
that's that.
we need to do our public
Yep.
hearing right now.
Oh.
But if it wrap up.
Yep, that's all I got. That's all just want to, I guess, get authorization to proceed with that and getting quotes. So
Okay,
8,000.
8,000 ton
8,000 tons of.
of
All right.
limestone.
Do you? Okay, do you want to talk about 140 or
What?
about the nail situation? You want to do it in committee
I
report?
can, it doesn't matter. I can, if
Let's
you want,
do-
if you want to do a public hearing, I
let's do the
can.
public hearing
Yep.
first, then come back to that.
Limestone.
Okay, it's 9:30. I'll open the fiscal year 26 county budget amendment hearing. Have you received any oral written comments on it, Courtney?
We have not.
And you want to go give an overview of it?
Yep, I will real quick. No changes from the first time I explained it. So we've got a total amendment of $12,537. And of that, we have the employee insurance in the auditor's office and requesting $3,061. Had an employee make a change to their plan. Also in the auditor's office, the ARCA search fee that was not budgeted for. Those are the online transfer book records and board of supervisor minutes. That's an annual fee, and I've made sure to include it in the fiscal 27, but it wasn't included in 26. Couple things for substance abuse. We've had a lot of those. We normally don't budget a lot of money for that, and we're already out of it. So I'm just requesting to put an additional $1,000 in each of those lines to cover any costs throughout the rest of the year. So the general basic is 7,761. Moving down to general supplemental, we had an audit done on our workers' compensation insurance, requesting $4,326 to cover that audit findings. We were a little bit of a shortfall in the previous year, which is not uncommon. Sometimes it's a credit. And then moving down, we just have a filing fee on debt service. This will come from debt services reserves. They charge $450 each time we make a payment. So we need to have 900 in there, not 450. So that is the explanation on the amendment.
Okay. Any comments from those in attendance? If not, we'll close the public hearing on the fiscal year 26 budget amendment hearing. And then we need to do a motion to approve the appropriation resolution.
We'll move to further the appropriation resolution.
I will second.
It's been moved and second to approve the appropriation resolution. Any further discussion? If not, roll call being the resolution.
Anderson,
Yes.
Houseman,
Yes.
Miners.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Hey, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Zach, you want to, we'll continue with you then?
So I guess just to finish up on the limestone, nothing different than we've done in previous years, just trying to replenish that stockpile to have it for spring. For all the areas that we need, so.
So 8,000 tons
8,000 ton of 1 inch road.
1 inch
fill.
road zone.
My question was, is that a third of how the quarry rock that we get, or how much, because you guys blend it and dilute it? and-
I'd say that on average, that's probably half of what we would have in a year. I mean, it depends on how much we haul ourselves, because it's probably, sometimes it might be 2/3, depending on what we get hauled.
But what
So
we get from local quarries isn't limestone.
that's gravel,
Right.
so that's different, so.
That's what I was trying to.
That's a lot more tonnage
Yeah.
there. I mean, we're
I was just trying to figure out how much limestone is that, a third of the, and we use 2/3 of.
Cost
No,
or
of
tons.
tons.
Oh, way less.
Okay.
We're looking at closer to 100,000 tons of gravel in a year versus 8,000 ton we're looking
Thank
at
you.
here.
That was what I was.
from Fort Dodge?
Either Martin Marietta or Stratford Gravel has a pit at
Okay.
Claire as well.
Okay.
Either one of those pits is, we have on the list.
Okay.
You'll just reach out to the same
Yep, Yep.
6 people. Yeah.
yep. I did have one other one that called that wanted to get on the list, and
Right, yep.
Okay, you had another situation you want to talk?
Okay, so on the 140th, where do you think we should go on that, or what should we do? I do think I've had a lot of phone calls since then from other people. I do think you should run your magnet, down another road, maybe somewhere. Just to see when you pick up that, to show that there is a situation on that mile
Just for a comparable.
for a comparable, yes.
I sure can. I mean, we have in the past. I mean, there's times when people have called in other areas where, oh man, we've had multiple flat tires, and then there isn't anything.
Yeah,
There's a couple locations in the county that are worse because of where they're located,
yes,
and that's one of them.
Yeah.
And that's probably the worst one that we've had.
yeah,
I don't know, we've had that many nails on this time. Some of what we did pick up were things I would say that probably weren't from that entity.
Yep.
Because there were other screws and spikes and washers and other things that got picked up as well.
yeah.
But it was significant, and
I personally, I'm speaking 1 of 5, but I think that we need to run another mile. And if it doesn't come back like that, I think we need to have, a conversation with that entity, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
I think that's a hazard, and it's, quite frankly, uncalled for. It's not good for the rest of the neighbors, the rest of the county, whoever drives that road. It's horrible.
I did ask another neighbor, Mary Wittry, who lives on that road, and she said she had 34 flat tires in a 12-month period. And her car was actually at Bruning Oil getting a tire repair when I sent her the text.
Wow.
And that's the next mile down.
Since
I was there-
she's on the same east-west road. She just
Exactly.
west
It's on
of there.
140th, but.
She just west of
between
there,
Granite and Hump.
3/4
instead of-
miles, yeah.
And I think it would also, so when you take the magnet, was it picking up stuff along Ivy on the way there, or did he clean up before he went from Ivy?
I assume he didn't set it down until he got to that road.
Because I'm
but-
curious how many are on
But,
Ivy
but
that,
I didn't specifically ask the gentleman that ran at that
Yeah.
question, but that's what I was told is it was that 1 mile stretch and then to the north to the driveway.
Driveway.
Yeah.
That's the area that
that's where I went
they,
yesterday, yeah.
that they went with that, so.
But I would think that if indeed it might be from the same people, that Ivy would also be having a lot of issues.
100%.
So I would think that
And they go north out of that road too. Up to
Up
the
to
Brig of
120th,
Blacktop, you know,
yeah.
not as often, but they do, and I don't know, it just, that's a lot of nails.
that was.
There's a lot of other stuff in there, trust me, but that was a lot of nails.
Well, and I've seen the pictures. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And couldn't that even be considered littering?
If you can prove where it came from.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That's
the
the
other thing
proof.
is, I mean, we feel like we have a pretty good feel where it came from, but we don't know for sure.
100%.
Pay for you, so
So would this be a county engineer thing, a sheriff thing, a county attorney thing,
I-
or?
I'm more than happy to call and
Okay.
talk to them.
I am too.
I guess, I don't know if it's gonna change anything. I mean, I don't know
Well, I think we have the power to make it change something.
well, what teeth do you have in to stop it? I guess is what, because you'd have to prove negligence by that party.
I mean, we can't have manure haulers leaking all the way going down a pavement. I mean, there's certain things.
But
that-
that's unless you're gonna have a video camera, it's hard to see those fall out. I mean, to know where they're coming from for sure. You have a pretty good idea and hopefully that entity is willing to do something.
Yeah.
But I guess when it came down to it, if you're trying to prove,
Yeah, I mean, it's comes down to truth and honesty, to be honest with you, but
it
if
does.
I'll go have a conversation. I don't care. It's not, that's not fair to the neighbors, to the
Abs-
county,
I agree.
to us. I mean, we live on Ivy Avenue, you know? I don't know. I think something needs to be addressed. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I was shocked.
I was shocked too.
Just in a mile.
I went out there and looked at it too. I was like, holy.
When I
that
lived
mile
on,
and a-
when I lived on 170th, I requested the magnet a couple times because of flat tires.
Yeah,
And it was people
going to Quants.
that you could see them hauling scrap that didn't want to take Highway 30 to a different place, but,
Yep.
and I think there's been issues with that.
Mhm.
And I'm sure along.
I
Katy
think
Hawk-
those two roads are the primary ones we have trouble
Well, they
with.
parallel Highway 30 and you don't
Yeah.
have to have your load strapped down as good and you don't have to go 55.
And it's a situation where it costs, now we have our county employee going out and you run the magnet, which thank you, you know, but then it's a cost to us now where he could be doing something else, right? I don't know.
I went
And
out,
at the same time, I don't know if I want them running their magnet up down the road. I mean, I don't know what you
I
feel
went out
about
yesterday and
that.
took pictures of our county magnet and they just pull it behind a truck. I was
Yes.
thinking it was attached to a grader, but
No,
it looks,
mm-mm.
it's a burly looking thing.
Yes, it's a neat little deal, but,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
you
it-
don't know if you want them running up down the road on
I
it.
mean, there's potential liability issues there too,
Well,
depending
They
on what
need a
they're
slow
left.
moving vehicle sign on their
Yes.
vehicle.
It's just like anybody going out and trying to clean up on a gravel road or pavement. They're creating themselves some liability.
Yeah,
I wonder if the ground being frozen, if it would be more
I
that
think
was
it-
actually.
personally think it would be more because I think.
After it
some-
was freshly graded.
Yeah, and it might have been freshly graded. We talked about that, but
Mhm.
if it was frozen at all, there's gotta be
More buried.
buried on there, yes.
And I don't know that you pick everything up anyway. I
You're
mean-
right.
I mean,
Good point.
you just, I mean,
You just don't, yeah.
Looks like in the crushed concrete, there's 5 magnets there and it doesn't get everything either.
Yeah,
And those are burly magnets, yeah.
And you're right. You probably go out there and do that magnet today again, you'd probably be surprised how much you pick up.
potentially, I mean, I hate to even guess because.
Yeah.
Without any more commercial traffic going through there, just residential.
Well,
I mean,
because-
traffic stirs things up. I mean,
Yep.
all depends on what the
Yeah.
situation is, but.
I don't know where you wanna go with it, but I do think a conversation needs to be had. I'd be more than happy to go with you if that was what you wanted to
Do we need
do.
to make it a future agenda item just to make sure it gets done or not?
I think we can just stay in touch with that, I
Yeah.
think.
That's awesome.
And I would love for you to, if you could run another mile, just to say, hey, this is what we got out of a different mile, you know?
I think it wouldn't hurt to run around that area some more anyway. I mean,
Or
I.
just to, yeah, I'm
it's-
saying, yeah,
the
when you
initial-
do that though, I think you should run a mile, north or south there a mile, east and west 1 mile, turn around, come back. Clean it,
Mhm.
get an idea of what we actually pick up in that mile and then go clean up around his area, cause I don't think it'd be bad to run it over again.
Right. And the initial thought was we were gonna do more than that 1 mile. I don't know, the wires got crossed, but I
Yeah.
was planning on doing a little bit more.
Yeah.
There as well, but if you're out there, it doesn't hurt to do it. So,
Yep. It's
Okay,
not fun conversation, but I think we need to have it, so.
I'm
And I'd be
fine, I'm,
more than happy to go with you.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
okay. All right.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zach. Next, approve a resolution 2026-002 appointment of deputy recorder. This is something that
It's housekeeping.
Yeah, housekeeping again.
I'll make a motion to approve Jesse Ludwig as the full-time deputy recorder.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Any further discussion?
Is that a certain percentage
I think it's 65.
to start at there?
That's where she started, but it was just, I think I asked Courtney when we were looking at salaries and Courtney said, oh, this is or maybe I asked, but she's a percentage of the recorder's fee. I was like, I don't think we approved that yet. That was where it started, was last year during budget discussions.
Any other questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary, motion carried. Whoops, wait a minute. I got ahead of myself. It's a resolution. Roll call.
Anderson.
Yes.
Houseman.
Yes.
Miners.
Yes.
Johnson. McCray.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next we have approval of the payables for this pay period. And that is for $191,815.41.
I'll make a motion to pay anytime they're less than 200.
See, every time I feel like this would be great. I will second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, approved plats. We have two plats here today, I think. One is for Ellen Sander. And that is in Maple River, section 6. And the other one is for Cornerstone South LLC, and that is in I think that's in Richland, section 12.
I'll make a motion to approve both plats.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
Look good to me.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay, next we have is our fiscal 27 Wellmark employee health insurance renewal.
Time that for a bit now.
Yes. You can have a chair there, and
Morning, Clark. Good morning.
thank you, Clark.
You're bearing good news.
I do have good news. I have such a little bit bad news too, but it's not so bad.
What, you got a speeding ticket on the way?
No. Must be great.
Thank you.
If you have an extra one of those, that guy right there with the Iowa State shirt on would like to follow
I'm
along.
sure he would. He's always here.
Clark.
But he has to listen to you. He doesn't know if you're telling the truth. or not.
I understand. Thanks for you back. Good morning.
Morning, thank you.
One extra one. You bet. No, everything's good news today. One bad news I have is your dental and vision is a no change. Your medical's going down.
Dang it. Why do we have to say the same on those two?
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Fantastic news.
So how many counties that you cover had a stagnant or decrease? Us are the only ones?
Yes.
And how many counties do you have?
Having several school districts are all going up.
And municipalities, do you have any cities?
Nope.
Okay.
We're all going up. Our average trend right now is about 8.5. Oh. So most of the groups are getting about 8.5. Some are getting.
This is
some are
this
getting
is our
less.
4th year in a row or 3rd year. Where we've been less than 1%.
I looked online, try to figure out when the last time we got a good increase. It's been probably 10 years ago,
What, the increase?
a good increase, like
Oh.
they've had one or two,
I think it's been about 3 years. We've been under 1%.
Less than 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Last year
I know
was
it has.
0.58,
Yeah, it's been
So I don't know.
It's been- Mike can take credit ever since you joined.
good health.
So I don't know who's in
bill.
charge of the water department around here, but they're doing a good job. Some of
Charge of what?
The water,
Water
keep drinking the water.
Yeah. Some of the water around here, you guys are all healthy. Doing a
I like
good job. But I put together our reports. I'll fly through these as fast as you guys allow me. On the left-hand page is just the left-hand pocket there, just your two dental vision renewals. Again, a no change. Your vision is actually in the under a 2-year rate guarantee. But pull all those pages out on the right-hand pocket. We'll go through these. This first is your current month ag reports. This is your current contract. It's gonna go through 12/31 and 26. shows you, hospital claims, doctor claims, pharmacy claims, as well as stop loss credits. You've had a couple little stop loss credits so far since 7/1 of 25. Flip that over. What I look at here is the first column there is your estimated aggregate deductible. That is your 100% ag, or the 125% ag. So I take the 25% out. Your expected claims is 856,844. And you're running at 731, so you're running about 85% of what we expect. We like to keep that right around 100, a little less than 100, so you're doing really well. So should be gaining a little bit of money in your bank account, Courtney. The next page is actually shows you your contract that just finished in 12/31 of 25. You had 138, almost 100, a little over $138,000 of stop loss credits. Flip that over. You can see you're running what you expected, what actually to expected to run at 76, 77%. Bless you, bless you.
Maybe I'm not so healthy.
Drink some more water. Everything's running fantastic. One thing you got to look at here about making a decision is this next part here, where the next page talks about your 2-year cost summary. And look at pharmacy rebates. Flip that page over. I got some chicken scratches on the back. You currently have $115,000 rebate credits from pharmacy. We decided not to take the admin credit. So the admin credit for 25 would have been 132,000. So we might want to look at doing the rebate credit, because the rebate credit now is $110 per member per month.
Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not following you on that.
So right now what we're doing is when you get drugs, there's a rebate, we pass those rebates on to you. We're now offering a rebate credit. So we would keep the rebates, we just give you a credit to your admin, which would be $100, but it's $110 starting this year. So we take your 100 people that you have on your plan, times those $110, you'd have $145,000 worth of every month you'd get a rebate credit.
Can you explain why we haven't done that?
We'll look at that here in just a second. The next page, let's go look at the next, or flip it over to the back side where it says Carroll County. Before, you used to have, Humira used to be one of your bigger drugs. It was our #1 drug, and now it's a biosimilar drug. We don't cover Humira anymore, so it's biosimilar. So the rebate went down to like this, but the cost also went down to this. So you can see you were averaging $100 and some in 23. Early 24, you were averaging $100. Those numbers have gone down.
Mhm.
Yes. And then another drug, Stelara, just went to biosimilar too. You guys, it wasn't on your plan. You have Skyrizi on your plan. You used to have, like you said, Humira. You had a couple of Humira prescriptions. And that's what went away. So that's what's caused those numbers to go down. So I would tell you that I want to seriously consider taking the rebate credit this year.
And what are the steps we have to take to?
I would just ask underwriting to add a rebate credit on the rate page. When you sign the rate page, you're good to go.
Courtney, how do you feel
Yeah.
about this?
Can we make that consensus as a board without? Just in
So-
conversation.
My question, if it changes, then can we go back the other way?
Next year, July, you can go back, you can take it off and go back to rebates you want.
Okay,
You go back and forth whenever.
Yeah, just have renewal.
I say we follow his recommendation.
I do too.
Do it.
Well, I mean, we can make that decision because it says fiscal year 27 Walmart employee health insurance renewal. It's on our agenda and we're discussing this as a overview, so I do feel like we can make that decision.
Mhm.
Courtney just shook her head. She's giving you the green light.
Okay, so what we'll do is, these are initial rates right now, not final rates. Final rates come out in April. In April, I'll ask for those rebate credit rates, so you'll see what it looks like. So basically your admin costs basically will just go away and now you won't get any rebate credits. So you won't be getting 114,000, but you're getting 145,000 divided by 12 every month.
Anything else you can do in the insurance world to make this more complicated? Understand?
We probably could, if you want me to.
They're just always moving.
Can you stay all day and just
Yeah.
continue to give us
Yeah,
good news?
Yeah, well,
No time limit on mine.
but we're gonna keep talking. It's gonna be some bad news in there too, probably.
Uh-oh.
Cost of care is going up, okay? You're just lucky you're not using much care right at the moment. We're gonna go through the executive annual report. As it says on the top page here, it's November through November. They worked on the renewal in December. You look at the second page, your benchmark is our book of cities and counties. Page 3, which talks about trends. Everything's gone down a little bit, except for our outpatient went up a little bit. Overall, about a 5% trend. Flip over to page 4, talks about cost. So you see your total cost went up slightly from last year. And again, you guys are one of the only ones that the pharmacy actually went down. Usually the pharmacy always goes up, but you guys are using the right medications, that's for sure. You look at the bottom of the page, employees really stayed consistent. 110. That's when I did that figure. I think I did 110. For
Say that
the,
again, Clark, I lost you though.
on the bottom of page 4, you're consistent with your number of employees.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Numbers have gone up slightly, got a few more kids in the plan. Page 5 talks a little bit more about enrollment. Your average member of your age of your employees is 46. It's been 46 for a long time. Look, they didn't moved for 3 years. On the bottom there, you see that no surprise, you have a little more males than you have females as employees. But when you get down to total members, it's almost 50-50. Actually, females take a little bit of a lead there. Page 6, the next page, kind of gives you a demographic overview. You have lots of age bands of 5 to 18, a lot of school age kids. 70, it's your biggest demographic, your membership. You do have 11 people that are over age 65. I didn't say raise your hand or anything. A lot of family contracts. You guys do a nice job of helping out the families with the cost, so they got a lot of family contracts. That's probably why you got lots of kids. Page 7 talks about network performance. You guys have always done a good job with using the network. 46.8% savings for what they build us and what we actually pay out because of our contracts with the providers. $1.2 million we've saved. You've had just about $2,000 that have been outside the plan. So 99.9% have gone through the network. Fantastic. The next page is always interesting to look at. This talks about claims paid by range. So I got a little chicken scratches on here. You got 27 members, or 7.9% of your group use zero claim dollars, which is lower than the benchmark, which is good. There's a lot of preventative care you guys are using. So maybe you're catching things before they get too bad, which is good. I draw a line at $1,000, which is roughly your deductible. 46% of your group use less than, or 160 members use less than $1,000 worth of benefits. Over on the right, it shows that it equates for a total of 4% of your total claims. Draw another line of 5,000. 80% of your group of 278 members use less than $5,000. So no different than any other group. You look at the bottom of the page, about 20% of your group uses about 80% of your claim dollars. Page 9 is basically where I just got my numbers from. I usually go forward to page 12. So you saw what the demographic looked like. That squiggly line represents that demographic. The school age kids is way up there. And then it shows you who's using some claim dollars. So you had a young child under school age use some dollars. And one of the 11 people over age 65 use a few dollars as well. So now look at page 14. Talks about age bands and diagnosis categories. No surprise. We look at the 46 to 56 to 64-year-olds. You got bones, muscles, and ligaments. A little different than myself, getting a new knee. And you got lots of babies, 19 to 25-year-old and 26 to 35-year-old babies. And 65-year-olds had several things, like you got a cancer going on, some radiation. But nothing too bad, that's for sure. Then we look at the inpatient side. So go to page 16, it just talks about we had some viruses and bacterial infections. Actually, I think we had COVID, I think is what we had. And then we had some doctors for OBs for babies, hospital stays. So page 17 just kind of shows you some dollars and some hospital stays. Page 18 talks about ER utilization. ER utilization has gone down from last year. Last year about 75,000, this year a little over 47,000. Each visit costs about $1,275. Yeah, less visits this year too. From the last several years, yeah, I only had 37 visits. Some diagnosis categories you see over there. Most of them look like they should probably go to the ER. I don't see anything here that probably could have stayed. I usually go forward to page 20. Talk about outpatient. Injuries and poisonings, bones and muscles and ligaments. 21 kind of shows you some dollar amounts that went to outpatient. I usually go to page 24. Talk about the office. So this kind of just shows you the cost of going to your primary care physician, your family doctor, costs you about $187. You go to a non-PCP or your specialist, your dermatologist or your cancer doctor, it's about $300. Chiropractors. You do have a couple people using telehealth. $37. I usually go to page 26. Talks about your top providers. The local hospital here in town, where a majority of your claimants have gone. And some of them have gone to Mary Greeley. You don't see a big giant stay, that's nice, but you do see on the practitioner, somebody had to fly on a helicopter. Typically that goes from like the local hospital to a more hospital that can handle some stuff. But I highlighted on here too, on your practitioners, usually I don't see this, but you see a chiropractor on your list. Means you're doing good. You just got people, the chiropractor makes the list, means you're pretty healthy. Plus he's got a lot of business in town, looks like.
And it's the cheapest.
Then I got your pharmacy. Use your top 20 drugs. Anybody want to guess what all the yellow or the pink ones are for diagnosis categories?
Diabetes.
Diabetes, you got it. Couple of them are the weight loss drugs you see on TV. Yep. You can probably sing that jingle too, probably, can you?
Yeah. Yeah.
See that on TV all the time too. It's
Weight
helps with your glucose. It's not really not a weight loss
It's
drug.
good for
It's more of
screening
a diabetic.
Skyrizi,
Useful.
It's the Monjaro and the Ozempic are the ones that you see that are weight loss drugs to help with your diabetes.
what is, Skyrizi?
It's for arthritis and psoriasis and Crohn's disease. You can see that someone only took it for 4 months. Yes, that's where your rebates are coming from right now, and then they only took it for 4 months. So I don't know if it's they're currently taking it or they stopped taking it. It's one of your bigger rebate drugs.
To cover weight loss?
All the weight loss drugs are only covered if you're diabetic.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had some plans that have decided oh, they wanted to get some pressure to cover weight loss drugs. And then next year they took them back off. Because they were about 3 times more than what we anticipated they were going to cost. We're always looking at that though, and now they're coming out with the pills.
Say they got the.
And
Tablet.
yes, we're just waiting for that cost to come down a little bit, and then we'll see if, and it's still new. You know, it does help some people, really has helped some people it hasn't helped. Next page just shows you your cost for pharmacy. Like I said, it went down from 284 to 252. Paid per prescription went from 110 to 93. The next page shows you your number of prescriptions have gone up a little bit. You guys do a fantastic job of using generic utilization. Almost 90% of your drugs are generic. So that's basically it for the executive annual report. We'll forward till you see a large claim report. It looks like this.
What page is that one?
It's after all this and no page number.
For the glossary.
Okay. Gotcha.
These are claims that November through November that are $10,000 or more. So my little chicken scratches on the bottom, underwriting anticipates to have 25 claims on this report. You guys currently have 39, 36 in the prior year and 39 the year before that. Your stop loss is 50,000. They anticipate to have 5 stop loss claims. You guys have only had 3. So the first one was that child that had emergency use of 07, which is COVID. They anticipate that to be less than 25,000 next year, so that's a good sign. Must be doing much better. You have a spouse. I'm guessing that's the medication that's being utilized. So you can see the pharmacy is $82,000. This must be using for psoriasis. You have a few other spouses and dependents on the list.
E stands for dependent.
E is employee.
Okay.
D is dependent and then spouse.
Okay.
So go forward to the next report, which is basically the same thing, but we will get a little more diagnosis categories. This is for the plan year of 25, so a little bit different time period. Cuts off a couple months. Split it off between medical and pharmacy. It's like a surprises. We'll look at the renewal worksheet here that I put together. This just shows you the last couple of years and then shows you the current year. So like I said, costs have gone down. You can see the pharmacy has gone down 20% from last year. Stop loss claims have gone up slightly. So individual stop loss went up a whopping 3.14%, which surprised me since you guys are still at 50,000.
We talked last year about going to 60, didn't we?
Yeah.
But I've looked the last 2 or 3 years, you've all had, our trend for stop loss is about 15, 16%. You guys are running like 3 or 4% renewals on the stop loss. So no reason to touch anything that's working as well as it's working, in my opinion.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm liking the news it's giving us.
Admin went up. And then our PBM fee went up. So you look at the bottom of the page, your expected claims didn't change, which is about 85% of your premium. So then you had a little bit of stop loss, a little bit of admin. And there was some, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Some actuarial changes in some of your plans. So your most popular plan actually went down, which caused you to have a negative suggested rate increase of minus 0.23. Like I said, last year you were at 0.58. The year before that, we were like 1.11. I think I went all the way back to 17. You might have been at 2%. So done really well. Courtney does not want me to retire, that's for sure. She wants me to keep going back.
I was wondering where that admin fee keeps going up. If you were stocking some money away or
Well,
what?
I'm hoping to. Probably got one more year in me. Maybe. I also printed out the Doctors on Demand report, just to kind of show you what is going on with that. We do have had several groups that have decided to lower their deductible, or excuse me, their co-pays for Doctors on Demand. It's going to give some incentive for that. You guys have such a good relationship with the McFarland Clinic here in town. I don't want to take too much away from that either. But it's those weekend ones. The McFarland Clinic maybe closed on Sunday.
Urgent care is open.
Or open, okay. You had one person that used Doctors on Demand. The total cost for Doctors on Demand is $67. Compared to that $200 or $187 we looked at PCP, so urgent care would be $300. Would cost you nothing to lower this. Right now you have a $20 copay for your richer plan and $30 for your other plan. Make that copay $10. Just give somebody, you know,
For Doctors on
Yeah.
Demand.
Doctors on Demand.
And that's a phone call.
It's a phone call, yeah. We'll look at the renewal. The renewal looks like this now. Got a new system, will save us all this time and money. We'll see if it works or not. It's been working fine. Again, this is initial rates. So you got your two plans. You have the $750 deductible plan and $1,500 plan. $20 copays and $30 copays. You get your large claims. Flip it over to page 4. Talks about your renewal of your 2 plans, fixed cost. So actuarially, they look at these 2 plans as a block of business, not just your group. And the 750 plan is running better than what we anticipated. Better than, so we get almost 0.5%, a little more than 0.5% reduction, which that's where most of your people are. The other plan went up a little bit. They only have 21 people on that plan.
Is our third plan not gonna be offered anymore?
I don't think it's on this right here. 'Cause I think after a couple of years, no one's on it, they take it away.
Okay,
It's been more than a couple of years since somebody's been on it.
it's been several years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people aren't gonna get on it if there's no contribution.
No, I agree. So yeah, they took it off. So we'll just leave it off. So you see your admin fee is $54.79 per member, per employee. And pharmacy, network access fee, all that's gonna go away with a $110 admin credit. But again, you're not gonna lose out on the rebates. But you should come out ahead $20,000 to $30,000 the way it looks right now. At least that way you know you're gonna get $110 every month. Compared to hoping somebody spends a lot of money on a drug, then you get money back. It's kind of like a credit card. Any questions? A little easier when it's all good news.
I like the way you break it down and the speed you go at.
Any other questions? Anything else?
I don't have anything else. What I'll do is in April, I'll give you those and I'll run, you want to run Doctors on Demand at $10 or not?
I think that's a good idea.
Doesn't cost you nothing. If they don't use it, doesn't cost you nothing. Just for the 2 or 3 people that might use it, they get to save $10 on their copay.
Well, it might encourage more people to use it, so
Right.
I'm all for that.
Dumb question, but are they in Chicago or where?
Doctors on Demand,
Yeah.
they're all over the country.
So you just
And
dial
they
the
only,
800 number
and they only work on Doctors on Demand. So during the morning, I'll call them to get somebody in Florida. In the evening, I'll probably get somebody in Arizona or California. They're open 24/7, never close, 365. And if I call them and I like somebody, what's really good for this is also for mental health. If somebody has a good visit with somebody for a $10 copay, I like talking to this person because I'm going through a divorce or whatever. I can schedule next Tuesday. I'm gonna call them again. They're waiting for you. It's a $10 copay.
Where's the 800 number at for that?
Oh, it's actually, it's I got it. I'll have some flyers
Okay.
I'll bring back or send this morning. There's an app on your phone.
So on your recommendation, suggested rate minus, or will this stay at 0?
I would recommend probably just keep everything the same.
Same, yeah.
Hmm.
That's up to you guys.
You don't, you expect any big changes between now and when renewals?
In April,
Yeah,
no.
you think it'd be,
you got some room in your plan right now to take some change, some different things. Unless somebody comes up and has a severe cancer that we know, or renal failure or something we know we're gonna spend $500,000 on. The only thing it's gonna impact it. Otherwise, it should be fine.
okay, good enough. So we'll leave things the way it is. Agreeable?
I agree.
And then except for that one change that on the drug thing. All right, anything else? All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Clark.
Thanks, Clark.
You bet.
Anytime you come with good news like that, you
I
can
keep
coming
coming,
back.
huh? Yeah, I'll keep coming.
No retirement in there.
Okay,
Sure.
this will be the only plan I'll have. I'll just keep Carroll
Thank you.
County.
Forget the
Let's go for that. if you
Forget
keep
the
this one
school
over here.
person in the other county.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay, next we have is the fiscal year 27 public libraries funding request. You just want to come up here? Probably all three of you can come up here if you want. As soon as Clark gets up there, you can have a chair. Is that
Thank you.
mic on? It is, isn't it?
It was. Yeah.
Thank you for more.
Okay. Morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
Getting better, right?
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Less than 0 when I came in, so I would have a little bit of. Have a good day.
You too, Clark.
you.
Thanks, Clark.
Okay, you have the floor.
Good morning. I want to start by saying I apologize for not being here earlier. I guess we were a little bit late to the party on this funding request. That's probably on me. I'm usually the one that gets the librarians together, and last year we presented February 18th, so we were a little bit sooner this year. I do have it on my schedule to start sooner next year, so.
Well, and we also need to apologize. We're way ahead of schedule than what we normally are. So,
That is just fine. We're here now, so.
Let's introduce myself. My name is Maura Marsh and I'm the director at Coon Rapids Public Library.
I'm Linda Mulbauer, and the director from Clinton couldn't be here today. My name's Wendy Johnson. I'm the director in Carroll, right across the corner.
Do you guys know everybody up here, or would you like us to introduce ourselves as well? I mean, obviously, I know you guys, but Mark, do you know them?
Yep.
I watch your meetings online. So.
All right. perfect.
We feel like we know you all.
okay,
Who's your favorite?
You don't have to-
I prefer not to answer that question.
Come on.
So
who's the biggest instigator? That we probably can answer that question.
I also prefer not to answer that question. So we gave you a couple different handouts. I gave you the handout that I present to the Carroll Public Library and the city of Carroll every year. This is just my annual survey. Normally I also compare us to our peer cities. I did not do that this year. We have a different person in the state that is compiling all those numbers for us, so I did not get those this year. I also did an infographic that shows just some of the statistics that we pulled that were for countywide libraries. So the circulation of physical materials remained pretty much constant for the libraries from fiscal year 24. We circulated 153,273 items, and those are just the physical items. That to me is a pretty big deal because there's a lot of people who are moving to the ebooks and the audiobooks rather than physical materials. So the fact that we stayed constant is a very big thing. We had a 10% increase in attendance at programs. There were 1,376 programs offered at the Carroll County Libraries in fiscal year 25. Computer use was up over 11%. There were 12,275 Wi-Fi sessions reported at the libraries in fiscal year 25. And for our door count, the number of people visiting the libraries was 81,282, which I think is a pretty good number.
Is that up from last year? Or similar?
I didn't
Mine
calculate
was
that one.
flat. Mine was flat. It was off like, I think 15 fewer people through the door than the year before, so.
And I know mine was up. I can pull some of the numbers from last.
No big deal.
year.
I was just curious. if
But-
that was.
We don't always do the same numbers every year. Like we do different statistics. It just depends on what you want to highlight. The number of patrons in our libraries is 15,586. Now, there are obviously people who have a card from the Manning Public Library and the Carroll Public Library. So that doesn't mean that there's that many people, but there are just that many library cards. The average circulation to our rural patrons is 14% per library. And the return on investment, we use the same calculations we used last year for the number of books, magazines, library materials. If patrons had to pay for those programs compared to our budget, our return on investment is an average of 474%. So. Looking at that, we are asking for a 5% increase this year. And just because those numbers are not always super easy to figure out, That would be about $4,207. Of that, approximately $2,103 would go to the Carroll Public Library and $701 to each of the libraries in Coon Rapids, Linden, and Manning.
701 to the other three, and how much to the Carroll one?
2,100. So since fiscal year 20, the county funding to the libraries has remained constant for Rapids, Linden, and Manning, and it has actually decreased 10% for the Carroll Public Library. So this wouldn't quite get us up to what we were in fiscal year 2021, but it would be close to 10%. And we appreciate the supervisor support of the libraries, and obviously we enjoy servicing the rural patrons of Carroll County. And if you have any questions, we are.
Any comments from the ones that use?
The reason why we're asking for the increase is because supplies more than anything have gone up extremely a lot, just like any other industry over the last couple of years, from copy paper to computers to office supplies. Everything's gone up, and our budgets are staying flat, so it's not keeping up even with inflation. We do appreciate your past funding, but we could really use a little bit of extra this year.
And your other funding comes from the cities
Yes.
solely? Is there any outside funding besides that?
State,
State?
a very less than 10%,
That would be
How much is the state?
less than 10% for me.
And then the Carroll does get funding from our contracting cities, so we contract with the cities of Arcadia, Breda, Dedham, Albert, Lauderdale, Ralston, Glidden does Ralston, Templeton, and Willie. So we have 7 cities that contract with us. So we get at the Carroll Public Library, we get about 6% of our funding comes from the supervisors. And then I think it's 3% from contracting cities. And pretty close to that from the state as well. So the majority comes from the cities, which is why we're city.
Has your budget been fluctuating what you get from the cities over the years? Is there at least that?
Mine has changed. It's like last year I needed new equipment, so I asked for an extra $2,500. I'd say it stays very flat, with the exception of like maybe a 3% in salary increase, and then my one-time asks. And this year I asked for an outreach coordinator because I'm not getting into preschools, daycares, in-home, and we see that as a need, so I asked for a $5,000, and they're willing to let us try that for 1 year. So I'd say mine's flat, except with those one-offs that are 1 year like capital expense almost.
Except for any special request.
Yeah,
So does Manning reach out to other cities you contract with, like Manila or?
Manila has their own longevity.
It's we don't see your guys' budget, so that's why everyone else we see, and that's probably why everyone's asking a little bit,
Yeah, mine has gone down. Part of that reason is the state legislature approved the library tax levy a couple of years ago. Could go back to the city's general fund. For me, that was 2 years ago, that was $10,000, $900, and some odd change. This last year, the city determined that they were going to use that in their general fund. So they took that.
And Carroll is pretty standard. Our increases are normally salaries
Yeah.
for our employees. And I think you only have 1 main employee and then some part-time employees.
Yes, 3 part-time staff, very part-time, 40 hours a month.
I'm less than 1 full-time equivalent at the library. There's only 1 person there. If I'm not there, it's just 1 other person that's there.
And I think Glidden is the same way. Carroll is the only one that has several employees.
Any questions for them?
Will that be on next Monday's agenda then, Courtney?
Your decision.
Yeah.
I would recommend that, yeah.
I didn't know if it did say presentate or.
And we can make decisions
Say
today if
action.
you want.
Huh?
We can make, it's on the agenda, so. It's however you just want to do it.
Courtney, open meetings, open records, when it says funding request, we'll make a decision on it.
Kind of a gray area, I think.
I
I
think
would
to do it
feel more
by
comfortable if you
next
just
week.
put it on next week's agenda and then there would be no.
I think
pressure.
it should be next week.
Okay. We'll decide next week then, but you won't be here then, but that's fine, yeah. Okay,
Thanks,
Right.
Walter.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for all you guys do.
Yeah, you do. I
Thank-
appreciate it. Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
What do you have? Thank you.
Sorry you had to listen to everybody.
okay, next we on the agenda is discuss the employee handbook. This was put on in regard to having discussion about the doing reviews that each department head would be doing. And this is just put on just to see what thoughts we thought, get some thoughts together. And I think one of the things I do agree, whoever's going down to supervise, we ought to talk to other supervisors, see what they're doing and get, there's no use reinventing the wheel. Somebody's got something done. And if it's a form or whatever, I do think though that we need to I think whatever we write up, and we don't have to be in a hurry on this, but I think that's why I want to get some decisions. Is something that you want to see in this? And I think one of the things I would like to see is that we try to have these, whether regardless when we pass this or when we change the handbook, I would like to see it be each year be annually completed by November sometime. So it's done prior to the budget work. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm open to any discussion.
I say November 1st.
I think we as supervisors have 4 direct reports and we
Yeah.
need to adopt the same policy.
Right. I would agree.
Whether that's open session or closed session.
Well, and I thought about that. What we could do is we got each one of us has a report, which one thing I think I'm gonna probably pick up VA. She's a direct report to us and I'll do that one then. But I think nothing else, if we don't want to do it as a group of 5 in open session, if we want to do it, whoever's reported to it, I think that'd be open to that too. It doesn't have to be all
And
5.
then share it with the rest of the board.
Mhm.
This is on performance appraisals.
Well, whoever or gives notification to each one of us, whichever department head,
Exact, yeah.
but I think we need goals and objectives, though. I mean,
Yeah,
as far as,
well, I think, yeah. goals
and
and-
in
yeah.
case, who knows how next year is gonna turn out, but in case we do go to merit-based increases.
So does anybody else have any ideas? But we did put it on the agenda so we can talk about it. And
We talked
I
about.
think, if we, this is something that probably maybe we can get wrote up, I'm guessing, and maybe have our attorney look at it and just add it in the handbook. I don't know that we have to go outside. Do you think, Courtney?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there may be other counties that have a similar policy. Possibly,
Yeah,
so we could
That's
reach
where
out
our
and see.
networking skills go.
I think it just go in section 2 somewhere in the handbook.
We're thick elbow pads, but
Hmm?
we're thick elbow pads down there.
yeah.
But we may be needing to update section 3. We're currently working with Amy at Rhodes on getting some different things done with payroll. We may be going to every.
Doing both at the same time.
I shouldn't say may, we will be, but I'm not exactly sure of the timing of it. Just kind of depends on when everything gets set up.
Because of that,
Well, and I have no problem with that if we would, that we do it all at the same time, but I think we need to let people know that this is coming so they can get prepared. I mean, that way they don't have to do them all at one time. They could start doing them and.
Sure.
But I think maybe we need to make sure we get some sort of form, but at the same time, I don't know that each department needs the same form either. You might want something specific. We will let the department heads design their own, as long as they got one that we can approve.
Courtney, did you ever hear back from Scott Galloway?
Mike?
Or Mike Galloway, sorry.
Other than he was working, like he did respond when and said he would get something together, but I haven't seen it.
I would say documentation is very good for employees in case something would come up legally that we would need to fight someday. Hopefully that never happens. I don't know if it ever has, but at least you got some documentation that, hey, this is what you did on so-and-so date and you've done it a few times before. And just a thought.
I know, 100% agree from private and
Being private.
you and I
business,
both
yeah,
work
yeah,
at,
yeah.
yeah.
Any other comments?
Just everybody do a little, get your feelers out and try to find out.
Okay. All right. We'll do that then. Okay. Any comments from those in attendance? Well, first let's do committee reports, isn't it?
Yeah, I see that's not on the
Yeah,
agenda.
you need to add
Making-
11.
I think we should maybe do a motion to at least add it on there.
I'll make a motion to add
Add what?
reports.
We don't need committee reports on there. It should be
That's all
11.
right with me.
Then moves, is there a second?
Got a second?
You got a second.
Okay. So move second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Okay.
Contrary, motion carried. Okay,
I can go first. Last week, we had 2 supervisor meetings on Monday and then again on Tuesday. And we had conference board, a 3-hour meeting on Thursday evening. The chamber coffee was canceled due to weather on Friday. This upcoming week, I gotta check this afternoon if I will be at the statewide supervisor meeting on Thursday, and I have Wesco today at noon. And that is it for the following week.
Never did have it.
Did they?
Facebook, they had all the cinnamon rolls and everything. I didn't go either. I told Mark, yeah.
I had a cold. I wouldn't. have thought.
I didn't go either. Okay, I can go next. Tuesday, we had a board meeting, a special board meeting. Then I had CCGP board meeting after that. And basically they went through some about the BRE visits, reports, what was back and what some are hearing on those. And of course, most is workforce and also housing.
And you
Did-
got all 3 of yours done.
Yeah, and I got all my three done. And so I was the only one that had to go far. But anyway, and they do have applicants in for the executive director, and they're gonna probably start trying to do interviews on them here shortly, but they're having troubles getting dates set up for that. One thing that I think I reported you on the Hub 712, Jennifer has been hired away. That's the fellowship that.
Ames Alliance.
Yeah, to Ames Alliance.
Imagine that.
So.
She
Anyway.
got hired away to Ames.
To Ames Alliance. He now has Boone, Jefferson. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So then Thursday I had a conference board, and Friday I did it, listen in on ISAC's webinar on legislature, and also that's where it came up about that. I told you about those minutes. Friday afternoon, I spent a lot of time on different phone calls, and Saturday attended a legislative forum. And this week I have, I have policy council and region 12 open meetings and records. So I will only be going to the open meetings and records. And Thursday statewide supervisor. And then also Thursday, I need to get back for a new opportunities board meeting. And then Friday is the DMAC Discovery Tour. Do you want me up here then, Courtney?
That'd be great.
Sen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's my week.
Thanks, Gene. I'll go next. Last week, Tuesday was our board of supervisor budget workshop with discussions. Tuesday at noon, also CCGP meeting. Wednesday, I did go to Corks and conversations at the winery. They have 3 gubernatorial candidates, a couple other were there. That were interesting, just hearing on possible vision of the state. Thursday, secondary roads payables. I also saw that debris that the magnet collected on Ivy and Hawthorne. And I did work with Paul on finally getting a map behind Courtney, a countywide map. That should be coming soon, I hope. Also did courthouse payables and then conference board. I do think it's worth noting 11 of 13 mayors were participating, and 4 or 5 school boards were there, and all 5 supervisors.
It's
The
the
two-
best attendance I've had
Yeah.
since being a supervisor for the last.
The public hearings
I
will
will
be.
say, even in my years, that's the best attendance we've had ever.
That's great.
So, the public hearings will be on February 23rd for the amended budget and the fiscal year 27 proposed budget. And one more thing, several people commented that it would be nice maybe if all the budget public hearings were held here so they could be live streamed. Like the Board of Health, Conservation, more user friendly, just people who watched that, who enjoyed it and said, "Hey, would it like it, something to think about for next year."
That's at noon, ain't it? You said on the 23rd?
Yes, at
Yes,
noon. There's
yeah,
two
yeah.
of them. Yep,
That's what I thought.
What?
the public hearings
Yeah,
for
at noon.
conference board. So something to think about for next year. Friday, I didn't help kind of work with Zach on the court's floor heating issues. They're still using space heaters this morning. The new compressor is supposed to come in this week. I think that's been a struggle on trying to get that done with our new system, but it's freezing up there. Courtney went up there too. And, so yeah, Zach's in charge of it. He says right now he doesn't need help, but there's been a lot of emails going back and forth, like, what does it take to get this? We're on the priority list because the contract we
Third
signed.
floor?
Second floor, yeah. But anyway, I think that's on our way. Saturday legislative forum, property taxes seem to dominate the discussions there. I did ask that those be made to be an hour and a half. I don't think people get enough questions the way those guys like to talk. And they're looking at that. Yesterday I did ride with a deputy. I went to the newly installed level C gates on both ends of Voyager. Zach, those are burly. Those posts that are in the ground are impressive. And we did go to 140th and Hawthorne and look around, and actually there was more chunks of metal that we threw in the ditch. I also spent some time in the jail this week today, 11:30, coming up soon, RSVP tonight, Carroll City Council. Tomorrow I will be attending with Gene and Mark at open records, open meetings at 6 o'clock at Region 12. That's all I have.
Kelly, you're busy.
No, I just talk a lot.
Just kidding. No. Good stuff. I bet that's good stuff. I didn't mean that bad.
Oh, yeah, was
Okay.
your overnight pretty good?
You did it overnight
No.
in the cell?
That's great.
Okay, let's keep on. Let's keep moving on.
All right, I can go. Monday after I got out of our board meeting, I met with Sheriff Pingree and kept going on some EMA stuff about his salary. We'll review that a little bit. Thursday, it was at the assessors conference board meeting with everybody else that's in attendance here. Like I said, well attended. I thought that was kind of neat to see, well attended. Friday, Maggie Polly and I had a Zoom meeting with Tony Huffman, our opioid speaker. He sounded awesome, so I'm kind of pumped up. It's cool. I hope it turns out as well as he talks. So yeah, 18th, 19th, and 20th, all 5 schools. March, excuse me. So anyway, he was seemed like a very nice guy and has good talk. He doesn't preach to the kids. He just tells them his life story and don't follow his life story, put it that way. And then I went to the legislative forum also on Saturday. And this week, I've got the open meetings classes we discussed, and then I'll be attending with Gene, the ISAC Supervisors Conference in Des Moines. And I've got radio and newspaper for this week, the last 2 days, Tuesday and today. I'll cover them both today. So that's all I have.
So you're doing it for Mike too, so it goes to Stephanie next week.
That's nice.
Thank you.
This is Nathan was suggested this, so that's up to him.
Last week, obviously we had our Tuesday supervisor. Wednesday, I had Board of Health, at noon, pretty straightforward. One thing that was, environmental services asked for, a 2.8% raise instead of 1,800, and that did get turned down, so, or not. I did not go through on that, so, stayed at the 1,800, which I thought was good.
Well,
Thursday,
that's kept in line with everybody else.
in line with everybody else, yes. Conference board on Thursday. And I had a lot of discussion about 140th Street last week. And one phone call about Voyager Road also, which was surprising, but, and then this week I have that Region 12 open meetings on Tuesday. It's the only thing I've got.
Sorry, I didn't add you. Okay.
That's fine. You like to exclude me once in a while.
Question to you on your Board of Health meeting.
Mhm.
Would that be something that would be good, you think, to have here, their final budget meeting, or is it better just where it is?
I just think it should be live zoomed or live streamed there.
Which this one set up for?
Yeah, and I think theirs is too. I think they have.
Registration is set up, that they could, I mean, we
I think
used
Board of
to.
Health.
No, but all used to have that camera out there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Board of Health is, I'm pretty sure they have all the capabilities there. I could be wrong. We should ask Dalton that.
But
But
I think-
I just think that
I think people care about hearing those, and
Yeah.
we need to make it easily accessible.
just
and
on budgets.
Oregon,
Yeah.
yeah, just that one meeting a year, yeah. And
Yep.
maybe the public hearing.
And they approved budgets which were less tax asked, like Maggie had came in, so that is a good thing. So
Okay. What's for next week, Courtney?
The Manning daycare will be here next week. Was hoping to get some clarification from the board and we'll do it like in an agenda item. So I've had a couple departments that the person works multiple jobs. So they're one title and then they're part-time other titles.
Mhm.
So some of them have come back and they're getting $1,800 for their main title job and then their part-time part is 2.8. So what I thought was made pretty clear at the board meeting was that everybody only gets $1,800.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was,
Impression doesn't matter how
that,
many
I stated
people
that way, whether they, remember I said if they wear multiple hats, they have to decide what department it comes out of.
So,
Cause I figured they get only 1,800.
just put it on the agenda, Ian, if you want to talk
Yeah,
about
we
it.
can reaffirm it.
and I can let you know what those departments would be, just to
I
get
think there are 9
clarification on.
different ones we have.
Yeah, just let's get some clarification, because I think that it might not be understood exactly.
Okay, no problem.
And that's all I have.
Any comments from those in attendance?
Oh, and the library, sorry. The library
Oh,
funding.
and library too, yeah. Okay, if there's nothing else, we're in order. Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion